Hello, future chemists. Welcome to an exciting journey into the heart of chemical bonding. Today, we are diving into Lewis structures, a fundamental concept in Class 11 chemistry, crucial for your G-Main preparation. We'll start with the basics, gradually building up to advanced competitive insights. Get ready to explore how atoms connect and form the molecules that make up our world. Let's begin our exploration with the fundamentals of Lewis structures. This easy level will set the stage for understanding how atoms interact. Imagine trying to draw a molecule. How would you show which atoms are connected and where the electrons are? That's exactly what a Lewis structure helps us do. It's a simple diagram that uses dots for valence electrons and lines for shared electron pairs, or chemical bonds. It's like a blueprint showing us how atoms share or transfer electrons to become stable, just like noble gases. The core idea behind many Lewis structures is the octet rule, which states that atoms, especially those in the main groups, aim for 8 electrons in their outermost shell for stability. Think of it as atoms wanting to complete their electron family. For tiny hydrogen and helium, it's a duplet, just 2 electrons. We'll also walk through a step-by-step process, starting with counting all available valence electrons, identifying the central atom, forming single bonds, and then distributing the remaining electrons as lone pairs or forming multiple bonds to satisfy everyone's octet. We'll use water as a simple example to illustrate these steps. Now, it's your turn to practice. Try drawing the Lewis structures for carbon dioxide and methane. For the third question, think about which of the given atoms typically aims for just 2 valence electrons in a stable molecule. Pause the video, give these a shot, and reinforce your understanding. Ready to deepen your understanding? In this medium level, we'll tackle more complex scenarios and introduce crucial concepts. We are moving beyond simple molecules to explore how Lewis structures apply to polyatomic ions. The key here is to remember to adjust your total valence electron count based on the ion's charge, add electrons for anions and subtract for cations. Next, we'll introduce the concept of formal charge. This hypothetical charge on an atom helps us evaluate the stability of different possible Lewis structures. A structure with formal charges closer to 0, especially on more electronegative atoms, is usually the most accurate representation of the molecule. Ever wondered how a molecule can have properties that no single Lewis structure can perfectly describe? That's where resonance structures come in. These are multiple Lewis structures that differ only in electron placement, not atom arrangement, and together they represent resonance hybrid, the true, averaged structure. We'll look at examples like the carbonate ion. Finally, we'll discuss the exceptions to the octet rule. Not all atoms play by the 8 electrons rule. Some can have fewer, like boron, known as an incomplete octet, while others, from the third period onwards, can accommodate more than 8, called an expanded octet, due to available d orbitals. So, to recap, for polyatomic ions, remember to factor in the charge when counting valence electrons. Formal charge helps us pick the best Lewis structure from several possibilities. Resonance structures show electron delocalization, meaning electrons aren't stuck in one place. And don't forget those exceptions to the octet rule: incomplete for some, expanded for others, and even odd electron molecules. Each of these concepts adds another layer to our understanding of chemical bonding. Time to put your knowledge to the test. For the nitrate ion, draw its Lewis structure and identify its resonance forms. Then, calculate formal charges for the thiocyanate ion to find its most stable arrangement. Consider why BF3 has an incomplete octet and SF6 an expanded one. Finally, identify which given species exhibits resonance. Take your time, these questions integrate multiple concepts we just discussed. Alright, let's step up our game. In this hard level, we'll analyze the limitations of Lewis structures and connect them to deeper theories. While Lewis structures are incredibly useful, they do have their limitations. They don't accurately predict the 3D shape of molecules or their exact bond angles. They also fall short in explaining magnetic properties, like why oxygen is paramagnetic. Furthermore, they can't fully capture the nuances of delocalized electrons without using multiple resonance structures, which are just representations. This leads us to VSEPR theory. Lewis structures provide the electron count, which VSEPR then uses to predict the actual molecular geometry by minimizing electron pair repulsions around the central atom. This crucial connection helps us move from a flat diagram to a true 3D understanding of a molecule's shape. Beyond shape, Lewis structures also give us clues about bond parameters like length, energy, and order. Generally, a triple bond is shorter and stronger than a double bond, which in turn is shorter and stronger than a single bond. In molecules with resonance, the bond order can be fractional, meaning bonds are intermediate in length and strength. Finally, we look at molecular polarity. This depends on both the polarity of individual bonds and the overall molecular geometry. Even if individual bonds are polar, a symmetrical molecule can be nonpolar because the bond dipoles cancel out. Lewis structures, combined with VSEPR, are essential for determining if a molecule will have a net dipole moment, which profoundly affects its physical and chemical properties. So, in essence, Lewis structures are a starting point. They help us count electrons, identify bond types, and set the stage for VSEPR theory to predict geometry. This geometry, combined with bond polarity, determines the molecule's overall polarity. Understanding these relationships allows us to predict a molecule's physical properties and even some aspects of its reactivity. Remember, while Lewis structures are simplified, they are foundational for building a more comprehensive understanding of chemical bonding. Now, challenge yourself with these hard-level questions. For ammonia and XeF4, draw Lewis structures, then predict their geometries and polarity. Compare bond parameters for carbon-oxygen bonds in different species. Explain why CCl4 is nonpolar despite polar bonds. For the sulfate ion, draw a minimal formal charge structure. And finally, identify the molecule with the strongest NO bond and the molecule with a dipole moment from the given options. Good luck! Welcome to the ultimate challenge. In this hardest level, we'll delve into the most advanced aspects of Lewis structures, connecting them to competitive exam depth and real-world insights. We start with advanced resonance. Remember how some resonance structures are better than others? We'll refine that, learning to identify major contributors based on formal charges, electronegativity, and the number of bonds. This understanding is key to predicting a molecule's true electron distribution and stability. Next, we bridge Lewis structures with hybridization. The number of electron domains from a Lewis structure directly tells us the hybridization of the central atom, a crucial concept for explaining observed bond angles and geometries, moving beyond simple VSEPR to a more atomic orbital-level explanation. While Lewis structures and valence bond theory are great, molecular orbital theory, or MOT, offers a deeper quantum mechanical view. Unlike localized bonds in Lewis structures, MOT describes molecular orbitals that are delocalized across the entire molecule. This theory beautifully explains phenomena like oxygen's paramagnetism, which Lewis structures can't. We'll also briefly touch upon how Lewis structures contribute to understanding aromaticity, the special stability of certain cyclic compounds, though Huckel's rule provides the full picture. These insights are vital for predicting a molecule's overall behavior and stability. Lewis structures are also powerful tools for predicting chemical reactivity, especially in the context of Lewis acid-base theory. By identifying lone pairs and areas of electron deficiency, we can predict which sites will act as electron donors, Lewis bases, or electron acceptors, Lewis acids. This fundamental understanding is crucial for grasping reaction mechanisms in organic and inorganic chemistry. Finally, we acknowledge that for cutting-edge research, computational chemistry methods like DFT go far beyond simple Lewis structures, providing highly accurate models based on quantum mechanics, which are essential for fields like drug design and material science, showing the legacy of Levy's initial insights. So, to summarize this advanced level, we've explored how to evaluate resonance structures for their contribution, connected Lewis structures to the fundamental concept of hybridization, and understood how molecular orbital theory offers a more complete picture of bonding than simpler models. We've also seen the role of Lewis structures in understanding aromaticity and predicting acid-base reactivity, ultimately recognizing their foundational role even as computational chemistry takes on the most complex challenges. This holistic view prepares you for the toughest questions in GME. Alright, it's time for the ultimate test of your understanding. For the first 5 questions, you'll tackle advanced concepts. Draw resonance structures for the azide ion and identify the major contributors. Determine the hybridization of central atoms in various species. Explain the magnetic properties of oxygen and nitrogen using MOT. Analyze the nitride ion's bond order and resonance effects. And finally, identify the Lewis acid and base in a given reaction. These questions demand a thorough grasp of all the concepts we've covered. Let's continue with the remaining 5 challenging questions. Predict the geometry and hybridization of ICl4. Draw all possible Lewis structures for C3H4, indicating resonance and carbon hybridization. Determine the stability of OCN versus CNO using formal charges. Explain how an expanded octet for sulfur in SO32 aligns with its geometry. And finally, describe pi electron delocalization in benzene using resonance. These questions will truly test your analytical and problem-solving skills, pushing you towards competitive excellence. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Lewis structures. From the basic dot diagrams to advanced theories like MOT and hybridization, you've seen how this concept is foundational to understanding chemical bonding. Remember, consistent practice is key to mastering these topics for GME. For more such comprehensive educational content and to track your learning progress, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting chemistry lessons. Keep learning, keep exploring.